Welcome to Old Goats Moto. Today we're going over a Baja ride that some buddies and I did a while back. Mexico is an awesome place to ride. If you ever get a chance to go to Mexico, I highly recommend it. Their food is amazing, their beer is amazing, and their riding is even better. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, hit that like button, consider subscribing. Let's get to the video. So here we start our Mexico multi-day ride at the border of California and Tecate, Mexico. We get across the border, we cruise through town just a little bit, we cruise down the highway for a couple miles, and we veer off onto a dirt road. With us today is myself, SRT owner Craig Thompson, buddy of mine, Sam Bird from Hawaii Rides, and then Chili White, who is our trail boss basically. Chili has taken a bunch of tours, people on tours through this area, anywhere from experienced folks to people that have very little experience. So he knows the area really well. He knows the places to eat. He knows the places to stay out of. He knows where to go and knows the language. So it's a great tour guide. This particular single track that we're on right now is an old section of, or a section of the old race course for the Tecate 250. They don't run that race anymore, so the trail is overgrown, but the trail is still worn in enough to where you can see where you're going. Obviously, as you can tell, over the years of running that race, they've burnt it in pretty good. So it's a little overgrown, but we're having a good time. There's quite a bit of rocks. Now this video is 3 days of videoing, 3 or 4 days of videoing. So we ran in all kinds of different terrain, anywhere from desert riding to here we're kind of a mountainous area. Here we're going through a sand wash where there's really no trees, just a bunch of brush. We're out on the waterfront. We're all over the place. So it's again, Mexico's just a cool place to ride. So I believe this is day 2. We had got up in the morning. Chili had taken us to a nice place to have breakfast and talk to some of the locals there, and then headed out to this area that we are right here. So Chili knew of this trail that used to be in this area, and we were kind of doing a bunch of U-turns trying to find where this trail was. And to our left, basically, we were down in that ravine. He said we needed to get to the top of that hill to our right. So everybody's kind of scattered on the hill just trying to get up to the top. You can tell the brush is pretty thick here, or not necessarily thick, but just, it was hard to just go straight up the hill and just hold it wide open, because you couldn't tell if there was rocks behind some of these bushes. So we're kind of bobbing and weaving through this vegetation, just trying to get to the top of the hill here. Like I said, I'm on a 500, a 501, and I am a 2-stroke guy. I now own a 4-stroke, but at the time, I only had a 2-stroke, 300. And I know how to work that bike really well, but this 4-stroke is a different animal. They're two completely different motorcycles. So it was a learning curve for me with that 4-stroke and the flame out and just the way the power hits and things like that. So a little challenging for me, but all in all, I had a good time and the bike ran really good. So once we got to the top of that hill, we came over a rise, and this is what our view was, the Pacific Ocean. We had stopped on this 2-track here, had some lunch, rehydrated, and just sat there and BS'd with each other and had a great view. Left from there, continued down the 2-track, and I don't know if this is a road or what this is, but we're just following Chili here Again, he knows the area very well. And we continue on here. We're going to make a left, drop down onto a single track, and eventually we're going to wind up over on that dirt road on our left-hand side. These little cactuses off to the left and right and kind of peppered through the single track are no joke. You tip over and land on one of those, you're going to know it. Dropping down in this little canyon just for a second, and then we're going to pop right back out onto that road. Ran down this road for a while, and then eventually out of this canyon and back on the Pacific, or back where we could see the Pacific Ocean. We followed that road for a while, and then we veered off of it once we got to this kind of sand section, if you will. Just kind of making our own trail through here right now. Again, that's the great thing about Mexico. Nobody really cares. Just go where you want to go. I mean, you are in Mexico, right? So you do have to be a little cautious where you go. But again, Chili has been here, a bunch of times. He knows where to go and where not to go. I was having some issue with the sand. Apparently, I was all over the place. That wasn't the bike. That was just me. So we're just kind of making a U-turn here, and we're gonna go across here and go up into this little valley. So Sam Bird is from Hawaii Rides. We met him a handful of years before this in Hawaii. He puts on a race in Oahu. Myself, Craig Thompson, and a couple other buddies all shipped our bikes back to Oahu and did a hare scramble or an enduro over there. And Sam Bird, we rode with Sam Bird while we were over there in Hawaii. Great guy. He's got a great little business over there. And so he has bikes over here. He's got bikes over there. So he's good friends with Chili White. So he comes over. Chili White will keep his bike at his house. That way when he flies in, he's got a bike to ride when he gets to California. I think he also has a spot in Colorado, I believe he was saying, or Arizona. Same situation. He's got bikes staged at his kind of summer home. So we continue on this path, which now looks more like a trail. Not sure if it is or isn't, but it appears to be somewhat of a trail. Maybe some side-by-sides have gotten in there and kind of tore it up, so it looks more like a trail now than when we first started. So coming up on Craig here, definitely having sand everywhere. Boots, helmet, goggles, but still having a blast. And I kill it again. That 4-stroke just loves the flame out. I'm not used to that 4-stroke. 2-stroke doesn't do that. But by the end of this trip, I got better at it. Face full of sand right there from Sam. I'm not sure how old Chili is. He's been around for a long time, but he's still a hell of a rider. and I killed it again. And another face full of sand. See a pattern. So we get done with the sand section and then continue down this dirt road, which leads us into this little village or town. Again, I apologize, I don't remember the name of these towns. And as we come through town, we're looking for fuel. And of course, this doesn't have, Chevron or Shell or any of those gas stations here in Mexico. So Chile apparently knew this place where he could go and get fuel at this guy's little house, basically. And he had a bunch of 1-gallon milk jugs that were full of gas. And so we pulled up there, gave him some pesos. I forget how much it was now. And he filled us all up with some premium fuel, I'm sure. But it allowed us to continue riding and continue the day. We talked about how we're in different terrains. And, we were in the sand a little bit ago. Now we're up on this rocky, red clayed road now. So the terrain was just constantly changing. It was really cool, actually. I remember this being a long day. This is towards the end of the day, actually, I don't know, it's probably about 1 o'clock. I just remember being just tired. My arms were tired, back was tired. I was just, we had rode already a full day, and I think this is the end of the second day. But still, just having a really good time. So we're coming up to this ravine on our left-hand side, and we could see it from that trail as we were coming down earlier. We could see that there was a trail that went up the left-hand side of this ravine. So we're trying to make our way over to that left side of this ravine. Again, this is in the middle of nowhere. I have not a clue where we are at this point, other than someplace in Mexico. I think right here I get tied up in the bushes, and I keep flaming out, so it's struggling. Trying to keep my head low so I don't get caught on all these branches. So we finally got to the left-hand side of this ravine. Oh, tree grabbed me there. Got on the left-hand side of this ravine. I'm killing it some more. And just started to make our way up to the top of this ridge. A little off camber. Loose rocks, end of the day, just all those things make for a struggle. But we're making our way up. I think the key here was just to keep pushing. It did make it tough, though, because you can tell we're going into the sun here. And if there's anybody in front of you that's creating dust, boy, it just blinds you. You can't see anything. So, and with all the rocks and everything, boy, you just kind of ping-ponging through this little section here. Just stay on the gas. Keep your balance. So this is our third day. We're leaving Ensenada, heading back to Tecate, and we get on the single track, which is the old race course for the old Tecate 250 that is no longer ran. We played around on this single track for quite a while, probably a couple hours, and eventually ran back into town, made it through the middle of town, and into the border. The great thing about Mexico, I mean, I'm on a bike that isn't plated. Craig is on a bike that's not plated. I don't think anybody in Mexico cares. So it's very refreshing coming from California, where everything is regulated. There's fencing and gates and rules. So here we are coming back into the border. There's a border wall. We're going to come alongside a bunch of cars that are all waiting to go across the border. We luckily could just ride right up to the front and squeeze in between a couple cars and cross the border. We didn't have to wait in line, so that made it very nice. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, if you like, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button. We'll see you on the next one.